And in a staff meeting a couple days ago, I was teaching our Kenyan staff about the word pickle as it relates to getting in a tough place or a jam. And I found myself in a tough place a few months ago when I arrived in Nairobi on a flight from Eldoret, and I had booked my own taxi driver named Nelson. Now, I booked Nelson for the first time because I thought he could save me some money. Our longtime taxi driver, without my knowing it, had sent one of his drivers named John to collect me at the airport at the same time. So when I came out of the terminal, this wonderful Kenyan man came with a bright, smiling face, and I assumed it was Nelson, the guy I had called. Turns out, it was John. Now, I found myself in a pickle because I had two guys coming at the same time to get me. Now, my flight arrived 45 minutes late, so Nelson was still nowhere to be found. I had texted him when the plane landed. He texted me back, so I thought he was close, but 45 minutes later, he still hadn't shown up. I was in a situation that I don't find myself in very often, wondering what to do. And in that moment, I was praying in my soul and in my spirit, asking God for wisdom. What do I do? I've got two guys both coming to get me. So what I came up with was I'd allow John, who was standing right in front of me, to go ahead and take me to my hotel room. And then I would contact Nelson, who still hadn't arrived and was 45 minutes late, to have him pick me up the next morning and take me to the airport for my connecting flight. And I thought that was about the best of both worlds, to respect and honor both drivers. So I got in John's car, we started on our way, and then my phone rang, and it was Nelson. And I said, Nelson, I don't know where you were. You were 45 minutes late, but there was a miscommunication. Another driver was sent, and so he's taking me to the hotel. But will you still come in the morning to pick me up? I am so sorry. Well, in that moment, Nelson let out with a string of interesting, I'm sure, Swahili words that I think I'm glad I didn't understand. And it was very obvious by the tone of his voice and the way he was speaking, he was not a happy camper. And then the next thing I knew, he had hung up on me. And I was not happy with how that all came about, and yet I felt that the situation in a way resolved itself. And I do believe that somehow God heard my prayer and honored that to help me know how to kind of get out of a difficult situation. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, it says, actually verses 2 through 5, if any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, tossed to and fro by the wind. That man should not think he'll receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. And that phrase, double-minded, in the literal translation means double-souled. It's not just your mind and your brain thinking two ways. It's the heart of who a man is, having allegiance two different directions. And so when you get into a jam, I would ask you to just, and even before you get in the jam, ask yourself, am I single-souled toward God? Am I a person who, like God asked his people in Deuteronomy, serve the Lord and love him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength? Because if you do that, if you're single-souled and single-minded toward the Lord, and you ask him for wisdom to tell you how to navigate through life, his promise is he'll do it, but don't doubt it, because it's a sure thing. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for watching Soul Steps today. We appreciate it. Please remember to visit our website at soulsteps.org. There you'll find opportunities to ask for prayer. There's a list of volunteer needs that we have so you can help us grow and develop our team and this work. And it'll show you opportunities for giving financially as you're able. We appreciate your support in every way. And remember that soul steps are important today because God cares about who you are and how you live. God bless you.